So let's get on with that interview. I hear this is more important because cooking dinner, I hear all this slamming and banging, you know how it takes to cook.
Yeah, I know. Cindy's the same way. I can tell when she's in the kitchen. There's
Yes.
usual crashing.
Yeah. I put pads on the cabinet to cut down the noise level.
Oh, good idea. Okay, so this is an occupational health interview. So it just asks you pretty much about your work history. You know, it has, I don't know why he starts with this very stupid question of gender, but I think it's safe to say that you identify as a man.
God damn, you're getting good at this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get out of this.
I am an expert. Okay. So it really starts with job types. So what kind of jobs have you had during your career?
As a registered nurse?
Well, I mean, you can start from the beginning, work your way up, or whatever tickles your fancy.
Well, I went to grammar school, normal high school.
Not for a job.
Huh?
Not for a job.
Well, you said go back in time. I'm going back. Okay, I went to
your first professional job.
Nursing.
So it was nursing. Okay.
My first professional job. I enjoyed going to school for nursing, but very disappointed when I became an RN. I found the work as a nurse at that time, handmaiden type thing, not what I enjoy it more as a student than I did as a registered nurse. So then I took another job at, say, Beverly Hospital. That had to be a nightmare. I just walked off on that job.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. So then I joined the military.
Oh, so I was under the impression that the military helped pay for your school originally.
No,
okay.
not for nursing.
Okay. Oh, so they helped you become a CRNA?
No.
Batting 0 for 10.
You are, keep going, you keep losing. Okay, I got my RN, joined the military, and my first station was in Columbus, Mississippi. Being a male nurse, I was the first male nurse to ever go to the 858th Medical Group in Columbus, Mississippi.
A very understanding area.
They were waiting for me to come with a purse and fingernails and lipstick, I guess. And, well, then I got so used to that, I didn't pay attention. Well, when they knew I was married and having a kid, well, that kind of mellowed. I did they put me in the operating room. The only operating room experience I had was 3 months in nursing,
Actually, nursing school?
Yeah, actually, it was an excellent training. You literally learned all about surgery, instruments, sutures. You were a scrub. You became a scrub. So that was very interesting and part of the rotation. Then, where did I, oh yeah, in Mississippi, they put me in charge of the operating room. Thank God it was military. I let the sergeants run it. They had my name, that's all. And I was the, not the scrub, the chief nurse. Big fucking deal.
Well, was that the first time you were a chief nurse? That sounds like a big deal.
When you know what you're doing.
Oh, well, okay.
I did my job. The chief nurse, I mean, the nurse of the operating room, the head nurse, I became head nurse. she's being transferred to San Francisco.
Oh,
And I still remember her name, Captain Lau. She was Asian.
I figured.
She looked actually more Korean than Japanese, but she could have been either. Then I got transferred to general ward work, and then I got in charge of the that one I liked. I was in charge of the immunization clinic. Little did I know what's going to happen in about another year from there. I used all the kids, people that had allergies, that have to come into the clinic to get their allergy shots. I would keep a record of them all and actually learn to study all about allergies. And then the pilots would come in for their shots. Like you need to have a shot updated. You came in, I'd pull your records and sign it and all that. Then hell broke loose. The Vietnam conflict. I had to, I can say it now because I had a secret clearance, immunize all pilots with the vaccine. I can't think with the rats. What disease do you get from rats?
Bubonic plague?
For bubonic plague.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, you're going to Asia. Hello. And then people would come in for their shots, but then the base is mobilized. I have to now immunize everybody on base. As the officer in charge, I don't know, I'm sure you saw it in movies. There was this big desk that I sat at with the records, and the sergeants had the guns, you know, and you'd keep hearing thud, thud. I don't know if it was the smell of alcohol or just fear. They would get them up and said, you're going to be coming back, so do you want to do it now? You're not going anywhere. So the kids would survive it. That was very interesting. Oh, and at that same time, I was in this personnel office. The sergeant calls me over. I was a second lieutenant then. And he said, I just got an assignment for you. And I went, what? He said, but you cannot tell anybody because they can court-martial me or discipline me. Of course I won't. You're going to Japan with your family. I mean, my jaw fell.
Surprise!
Yeah, so I'm joyful as hell, waiting for the orders. I think I told your mother. How do you keep something like that from her? You know, like. So we got to Japan. I became a. The minute I got there, I became a second lieutenant, a first lieutenant. I got assigned to pediatrics. So I did pediatrics. I was a general nurse. I did pediatrics. Then, oh yeah, I did a lot of pediatrics now I think of it. Then we got an intensive care unit. So I was transferred there for not too long. Oh no. I'm sorry, my mind's not as rapid as it should be. That's when the war got real up and casualties by the thousands are being flown out. I was one of the first officers to be in these hooches. Do you know what a hooch is?
I
They
don't
look
think
like
so.
bubbles. They look like bubbles, big bubbles, hooches. Well, they're hooches. And it first started very slow, just taking the extra patients. Then all of a sudden, now we're getting hundreds per day, probably 400 or 500 a day. So they would come in, and there was one nurse there who would triage them. Then they would all come to you and make sure they were tagged. They would come to you, and you would assign where they're to be. And I would notice there's a clog in all the other gyms. And I'm going, why don't they start from the back and open the door and would go out that way without causing, I mean, we only had room for one stretcher. So all mine are flowing out beautifully, got that organized. Those that required care, I mean, yeah, you know, you had to look after them. They needed to be
You mean,
observed.
are you talking about triage or are you talking about after?
Now the triage is done, and you put the those that need to be observed.
So you have to monitor?
Yeah, so they're put closer to you. You don't put them in the back anyway. You keep them the first in the aisles. So would do that, and you'll never believe it. One of these days, you know, the board's filled in. They write the guys. I see Legault. And I said, yeah, and I just came on, so it must have been the 6 o'clock, 6 to 6, you know. And I went, all I had to do is walk and said, oh, that's a Legault. I mean, red head, fair skin, you know. You swear he was your brother. I got to talking, he was my cousin.
Albert, dinner's ready.
Okay, I'll come up to have dinner, and we'll Zoom in after dinner.
Huh?
Yeah, we can do that.
Did you want to say hello to your son?
Who?
Your son, you know, the good one.
Oh, God, that's so
Hi, Mom. Remember me?
Hi, hon.
He can't see you up there.
That's okay. I can hear her. Hey, honey.
Voice.
We all can hear her.
Hi.
Hello, darling. Just doing an occupational job interview of Dad. It's very interesting.
What was?
The interview.
We haven't had our interview yet.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to go eat, and I'll call you.
All right. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready. I'll be here all night.
I'll Zoom you. Is that what you want me to do?
Zoom.